it comes to that. So at this moment, let's welcome Mr. Francis Abbah to come and lead us with
All right, thank you very much. Okay, can I start here? Oh, here too, right? All right, great. Today I'm taking through AI and then the changing world. Some of the things which are happening within our world currently. Okay, so one of the things that you would come to realize when you are quite updated or possibly travel or you hear people who have traveled alone, you realize that the world is changing rapidly. Africa may not be facing that because we're at a lower pace, but all things being equal, the world is changing rapidly. So the people who are able to learn, relearn, and then unlearn, and also able to adapt to the changing world are the ones who are going to stay relevant within some few years to come or in the future. Okay, so one of the things that you come to think about is think of the people who used to use typewriters. Now they are no more. It's either they upgraded their skills or probably were left behind. One time I had a conversation with one guy, I think it was around Udoko or Kanishi. I met him and I was having a conversation with him, and he told me that his mom used to do that kind of job. But when the PCs came, the Microsoft came, the Apple came, the personal computers came, the mom was nowhere to be found because she couldn't upgrade her skills, right? So things are going to change whether you like it or not. And it's good that we are having these kinds of conversations now. So it's either you learn, like I said, you learn and then you relearn to stay abreast and then stay relevant with the changing things that are happening all over our world. Next. Okay, so if you've been following the news a lot, I think was it some few months ago, Donald Trump came up with a decision to invest over $1 trillion. I think it was $3 trillion in AI alone in USA. And all things being equal, China is also competing against USA, and China is also doing a lot of things at the back end. But the question is, why do you think the president of the most powerful nation would invest so much in AI? Because they understand that there are benefits to AIs. So some of the things that they are even investing in, they are investing in AI for military. And that's quite serious because if you follow the news recently, you would realize that even China even created robotic dogs that can go into combat with them when they are going to fight any nation in the world. And it's not just robotic drones, they are also creating things like autonomous drones, vehicles, airplanes that can fly and then release missiles on any nation or any part of the world. We used to say that in the past the military strength was on ships. Then later on it moved to flight. Then later on it moved to atomic energy. But now we are in the AI revolution. So the countries who are able to move at a faster pace, the countries who are able to develop very much, the countries who are able to make a lot of research in AIs and develop that sector are the ones who are going to take control over the world in this DNA. And also, I had a conversation with my school mom about 2 weeks ago. She's in Canada and she's been in Canada for 7 months now. She literally told me that for 7 months since she went to Canada, the region in Canada that she is in, apparently all the trains in that sector or that part of Canada are autonomous trains. You can imagine a train moving huge number of people drives on its own. So the question that will come into mind is, where are those who used to drive the trains? So technically their jobs have been lost. Please, you get it. So if you don't upgrade and then move at a faster pace as the world is moving, you'll be left behind like a typewriter. The people who used to operate the typewriters. And also, you can also think about the trains that I've been mentioned of. Think about a situation whereby Ghana or Africa adopts that kind of how to call AI technologies. definitely there are things which are going to happen, and people are definitely going to lose their jobs. Nevertheless, new jobs are going to be created. So you should always think ahead and then adapt yourself to those changes happening all around you. Okay, so somewhere 2016, 2017, I had a friend. I don't know if how many of you know Water Incubator? Okay, none of you know. So Water Incubator is a training hub in Ghana. Their head office in Africa is in Ghana. So it's being sponsored by big companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Apple. You can name the big companies. Now, Water Incubator, they recruit people who want to venture into entrepreneurship and IT. These two things. So if you are interested, you apply. You go through a strenuous interview sections. The ones you are accepted, Meltwater will fund your feeding, your rent allowance. All that you have to do is to just study AI, study tech, and then when you are done, they would form a company for you. Then if you are willing, they will take part of your company, let's say 10% or 15% shares. Now somewhere in 2017, a friend of mine applied. He's called Thompson. He applied to Water Incubator and then he was accepted. But once he was accepted, he needed a team of people to come together to develop AI, right? So he recruited me. And then I actually went to his house at East Legon and we had to have a conversation. So one of the conversations that we had in 2017 was, who do you think will not be affected when AI takes over? So we thought about it and then I came up with 3 people. So the first group of people are the entrepreneurs, the people who own the factors of production. So if let's say, Madam, what's your name? Stephanie. Okay, so let's say Stephanie owns, let me use MTN. Stephanie owns MTN, right? Now, what is it?
Say amen.
Alright, amen. So let's say Stephanie owns MTN. In 10 years to come, or let's say we've reached 10 years ahead. Now AI takes over. Literally 70% of the works at MTN can be done by AI. Do you think Stephanie will be affected? She will not be affected because she can either employ human labor or adapt to AI technology because she owned that factor of production. Now, those are the first people who are not going to be affected by AI when AI takes over. The second kind of people who are not going to be affected by AI are those who produce the AI for mass consumption and then mass sales. So if, let's say, Ken produces AI for Stephanie for MTN, and then he's producing it for the mass scale for not just MTN, but for telesales, for Airtel Tigo, for even Mercedes-Benz, for Tesla, different companies. Ken will not be affected because he also owned that factor of production, which is he being the creator of AI. Now, the third category of people who are not going to be affected by AI are those who are skilled at using the AI, who are knowledgeable at using the AI. Because technically, in the past, what took somebody like, let me use my own example. The first book that I wrote it I began writing it in 2017, in January 2017, and I completed it in 2018 January. So it took me 1 year and 2 weeks to complete. The second book that I wrote took me about 7 months to 8 months to complete. But now, it takes me less than 4 months to complete a book. It's not that I'm much more talented now, but it's because of the AI technologies that I use to help me to write my book. So an example is that probably I can read about, let's say, LeBron James. I can read his story. Let's even assume I read his story last year, his biography. And I'm writing a book now that I need to incorporate that story into the book. I might have forgotten where I got that, material from. Either I read an article online, or even that story was in a book that I forgot about. But if I have the story in mind, but I don't have all the details in mind, I can simply tell on to ChatGPT or Copilot and then prompt it to give me the exact story about LeBron James that I need to write in, or that I need to add to my book. Now, once ChatGPT gives me that information, I'll cross-check it and then probably refer to what I read last year. If it tallies, then I can add those features to the book. You get it? In the past, it would have taken me probably like a week or two to go to gather that story, because I had to make a lot of research on Google, check, read a lot of articles, make sure that the articles are really tallies with what I read in the book or online. So that, how do you call it, productivity time, which is shortened now. You get it? So using technologies, people who are skilled at using the AI technologies are the ones who are not going to be affected that much. So entrepreneurs, creators of AI, so the users of AI. Okay, so I'll take you through 120 AI tools that I found online. Some I use, some I personally don't use them because I don't need them. So please can you click on escape and then go to the image. Great. So double click on it. Zoom in. Okay, so these are some AI tools that you can use. I'll leave them with our beta so he shares them with you. Please, you get it. Alright, great. So we have, can you scroll slightly up? No, down. Okay, so depending on what you want to use the AI for, we have AI for chatbots, we have AI for writing, we have AI for productivity, we have marketing, we have design, we have video. But I didn't make mention of this. When it comes to AI categorization, AI can be categorized according to its functionality in 3 parts. First, we have the narrow AI. So narrow AIs are the artificial intelligence which are created to perform specific tasks. So let me use like maybe Google Translator. It performs specific tasks. Then we have general AI. General AI, we haven't gotten there yet, but scientists are creating it. So general AIs are AIs which are developed to mimic human reasoning and human behavior. Then the last one is, which is the most dangerous, we have the super intelligent AI. The super intelligent AIs are the AIs which are going to be far more intelligent than human beings. And that's quite scary. Because if I'm doing a job now, and then in let's say 15 years to come, they create some AI which is way better in reasoning than a human being. Think about where you would be. Do you get a little idea? This morning we had a meeting at work, and then something happened. But apparently they are planning of automating some of the things within my department. Now, the thing they are going to automate, me for instance, it can take me like an hour to do. Some people, it takes them like a week to complete. Some, it takes them 3 days to complete. If they are automating all these things, that means one person, once the automation is done, can do about 4 people's work. Do you get the whole idea? So the question is, the other 3, where will they be? It's either the company will lay them off, or they'll push them to a different department which has not yet upgraded with AI or automation. You get the whole idea? So things are changing rapidly. Though you may not see it as your aim, but things are changing rapidly. So you have to adapt, you have to be fast, you have to learn, and you have to be able to unlearn some of the things in the past. So these are some of the AIs. We have chatbots, AIs. We have, my favorite is the writing because I'm an author, I write a lot. So I use AI tools like Copilot, Bing, ChatGPT, can name them. Then we have marketing AI that you can use for your marketing ads, your ad copies and all that. Then we have videos for video editing and all that. And when you scroll to the video, you see Canva. But Canva is also good for designs too as well, which I'll show you a live demonstration now, which you can use for your church premises and maybe even your personal life. And I didn't make mention of this thing, but I've written 24 books. Now, out of the 24 books, only 2 of the books, the cover was designed by a graphic designer. The reason why I didn't continue using the graphic designer was because I finished writing the book, let's say today, I contact my graphic designer, I tell her that, Franca, I need this image by 1 week's time. 1 week's time I call her, she'll tell me she's not done, but she had other things doing. I'm like, okay fine, I'll give you another 1 week. 2 weeks comes and she hasn't done it. So you go to a point where I'm like, oh well, if you don't do it, I'll do it myself. Unfortunately, we have Canva to help us to do that. So Canva helped me to do all the 22 books that I wrote, excluding the 2 other books that I wrote that my graphic designer designed the cover for me. So you can do a lot of things with AI, and once you have this data, maybe during the spare time, you can view them and then maybe practice them on your own. Most of them are actually paid, but some of them are free. But some are both free and paid. So when you're using the paid version, you have unlimited access, but the free version somehow limits you. Alright, so I think I'm done with the first part of my presentation. I go to the second slide.